2 weeks ago at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Logan Williams stole the win from Caleb Bulls late and got his 9th win on the channel, getting closer and closer to the top of the wins list. Here today, after a first off week of the season, the Krispy Kreme National Series is back for race 3 for the first short track race of the season. We are racing in the desert for the Bashas Supermarkets 300 at Phoenix Raceway. Will Logan Williams go 2 in a row, or will someone else steal it from him? Here today is race 3 of the 2025 Krispy Kreme National Series. What's up everyone, it's your boy Race 97 aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome back from the first off week for the National Series here. And it's going to be an interesting one here for a doubleheader at Phoenix with both Cup and National. And we'll see if Logan Williams, who starts on pole today, is the point leader, has 2 top 10s in the first 2 races. A fantastic start if he can keep up that momentum here today, or if someone new can steal it. We got a packed booth here. We got Graham in here. We got the owner of the 42 in the series and the driver of the number 45 in the JBL Cup Series, drives Brampton. And we got Joe Wachowski, driver of the number 43 in the Cup Series, up here in the booth for a Cup Series driver booth, I guess you can say. And welcome to Phoenix.
Thanks for having me. It's fun to be up here, commentating one of these races and getting a lay of the land for what's going to happen here tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, thank you for inviting me as well. It's good to be up here in the booth. Phoenix, very interesting racetrack. Taking some notes, got my notepad out, got my pen out, and we'll see how this racing translates over to the Cup Series race.
Well, good thing you got the notepad, because I think you might need to take some notes, because the track is a very tricky 1 mile shaped racetrack. Turns 1 and 2 are completely different than turns 3 and 4. And we've seen it in the past year at this track, especially last year in the JBL Cup Series. Turn 2 can be the trouble spot, especially at the starts when we start 3 and 4 wide. I'm gonna ask Joe this: what do these guys need to do to survive the first opening laps with an inexperienced field for the most part here today?
I wish I could tell you. I'd hate to be starting back there mid-pack because it gets crazy back there. They're going to be, as you mentioned, 3-4 wide, coming off these corners, and especially coming off turn 2, it funnels down. You really don't want to be 4 wide off turn 2, but we'll just have to see how they play out. You want to try and stay conservative. You want to try and get to the bottom as quick as possible, because obviously if you're down there, there's a lot of space. It's paved all around this racetrack. There's no grass anywhere. So if you're at least on the bottom, you have an escape route if they do crash off a corner or into a corner or something. You have somewhere to go, whereas if you're in the middle on the outside, you're at everyone's mercy of making sure they don't crash around you. It's gonna be an exciting start for these drivers, and I'll have to see if they all can survive it.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed they can. Of course, last year in the Cup Series they did not early on, but as far as U12s, you got Carlos starting in the 4th position, Benjamin Amati Jr. starting in a great position. Starting on the outside, what does he need to do to get to the bottom early and maybe contend for the race win here today?
Well, we put the Super Tune on that 42 car and got a good qualifying run, so hopefully he can keep it up. But honestly, the outside off of turn 2 can get a good run. So as long as he can beat the 51 off the corner and get back down to the bottom in 3rd, that'll be the ideal situation. Or hopefully, maybe somewhere in that 3rd, 4th, 5th row that they go 4 wide. Obviously, so much room, like Joe mentioned. The dog leg, you're going to see these guys 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide. So honestly, just got to hope everyone behind him tries to fight for the top 5, and top 4 can run away.
We'll see what happens here today at the first short track race of the season, and we might see some new drivers up towards front early on here in this one. The point standings are as follows: 2 races in to the 16-race regular season. Logan Williams, of course, last time out, won at Atlanta and is the point lead with a 9-point advantage over Ben Watson and Chris Jericho, 9 points behind each. Angel Gutierrez is in 4th, minus 11. William Ayers is in 5th, minus 13. The Daytona, Anthony Hernandez is in 6th, minus 18. And then Avery Alford and Eric Monaco both tied for 7th, both minus 19. Nick Lopez is in 9th, minus 20. And then Carson Miller, who starts third here today and could be a sleeper for the win, starts this race 10th in points, minus 23, tied with Caleb Rose. And speaking of Logan Williams, he is on pole here today. Alongside him is Jordan Stout in the number 11, Carson Miller, and Benjamin Amati Jr. in row 2. Avery Alford and Roberto Crown Jr. in row number 3, Keegan Thompson and Alexander Rowe in row number 4, and in second in points, Benny Watson in 9th, and the 24 of Philip Torres round out the top 10 here today. And let's get these guys one off. Hopefully they roll off on the first attempt here. And I'm going to ask Joe and then Travis, who do you guys think will win here in the desert for the Krispy Kreme National Series?
I'm going to eye up the man starting just inside the top 10 on the inside, second in points, Benny Watson. I think today is his day. He'll become the third different winner in 3 races here in this season.
Joe, you stole my pick. You know what? I don't believe in beginner's luck, and I don't believe in jinxing, so I'm going to pick my driver based off speed. I think Benjamin Amati Jr. We put the super tune in that thing, and hopefully he can stay up front and win this thing.
Not bad. Couple of pits. Got a rookie and a veteran pit right there. But we have 2 veterans on the channel at this point. On the front row, Logan Williams and Jordan Stout will lead us to the green for the Bashas 300, the first short track race of the season for these drivers, and we'll see on who might have the short track speed. We have green flag racing for the Bashas Supermarkets 300 in the desert at Phoenix Raceway. And oh no, all the way at the back of the field, Bruno Giacomo just blew an engine. Well, he did cross the line, but that's going to be day over for the number 81. Have to watch out for the first lap off of turn number 2. We are clean already. And Avery Alpha is going to go 3 wide for second. And it will be a huge lead for Logan Williams already on lap number 1 in the Bashas 200, not 300, but a tough wait for Giacomo on lap number 1.
That's the man back there last in points. So his season is just crumbling early on. He did make it back, barely made it back. So obviously that was a major malfunction in the engine there. He's under no power whatsoever. It was coasting back, but as you can see here, they are crazy racing behind the front 5 or so. Everyone's shooting to the middle because they're up top. They're thinking the middle's a little bit better than the top side, and everyone who's on the bottom is shooting even lower. They're looking 4 wide into turn 1.
And they are 4 wide into turn number 1. The number 26 is going to shoot down to the bottom. Chris Martin's making an aggressive move. They do funnel it back down to 3 wide, though. Don't ever want to go 4 wide off of turn 2s. Like Joe said earlier in the pre-show, the squeeze is massive. And as we get further up front, starting to get spread out, that number 27 trying to chase down the leader.
Avery Alford and the number 27 got a couple of wins late in the truck series last season. He's had a very solid start, all the way 7th in the point standings, chasing down quite possibly the early season favorite in Logan Williams here this season. One's a little bit wide in 3 and 4. Carson Miller, one of the new drivers on this channel, is in 3rd. And then Little Driver Trials is still in the 4th position. Ben Watson, 2nd in points, is in 5th. But for how long? Because Alexander Rowe's going to go below the yellow line. And we are battle for the 5th position as Thompson and Nick Lopez go side by side behind.
Here on these fresh tires, diving to that yellow line in turns 1 and 2, really the optimal play here. You get a lot of grip down there, and when you have these tires at basically the best they'll be for this run, you can really stick it down there if you drive it in hard, and that's what Rowe just did there to take that spot from Watson. And here comes to the inside of that 00. Nick Lopez getting a spot. As you can see, the 9 also filling the hole. Juan Garcia diving low, putting Keegan Thompson up top, and he's just kind of not able to find a way down low quite as there. Is that blocking there? Is that blocking?
I think so. Oh boy. A little bit of blocking from Dewani on Eli Blight, what he made in the Cup Series show, and don't think Eli will appreciate that, but here comes Juan Garcia, got his 13th win on the channel last week at Willow Springs, and if things work out for him, he might get win number 14, but how about these Jordan Anderson racing cars and Bryce Egan? The 27 is all the way up to 2nd, and now Alexander Rowe is going to date 4th place already. Both cars inside the top 4 on lap number 8.
Yeah, and Jordan Anderson Racing, they've shown out here today, and they, like you said, top 5, and that would be a good run for them. And first, I want to say 9. Well, actually, almost to outside the top 10. Single file, a little double file towards the back, but here comes that one car, Eli Bright, to the inside of Chris Martin's, and see some double file. This is when the tires start to get a little bit older, and it's getting hard to pass. And everyone made their moves early. Now we got to ride around, and these guys try to get track position is very key. And now here comes that 31 to the inside of the 51.
31 is flying. I was going to say Eli was looking pretty fast. This 31 looks fast, but that got them slow. Here comes your driver, Travis. He's I thought he was going to make it 3 wide there. I thought he was going to make it interesting, but I think he wants to keep that car clean for you.
Yeah, we've had a couple rough races to start the season, so I told him to calm it down. Let's go points racing. Let's get a good finish here.
And right now he started 4th, dropped back to 5th, back up to 3rd as he passes Alexander Roll. A little bit of crazy action in the back, but he's coming. Here comes Avery Alford in the number 27. Might have a long one car, only lap 11 of about 30 laps on these tires. It was 6/10, now it's just over 3/10. Avery Alford might be in position to get his first National Series win here today. Closing in on Logan Williams very, very fast. Eli Brighton made some moves as well in the number 1. And this is where these tires get old and it gets harder to pass. It's not impossible, especially if you have a long one car light. Looks like maybe Eli Bright, maybe Benny Watson, maybe the 42, maybe the 27 as well. Stay about the same. 27 gonna dime in the corner. Actually went a little bit higher. But Avery Alford looks strong here in the middle part of this opening segment.
He looks really good through 1 and 2, the flatter area of the racetrack. You get down there to 3 and 4, there's a little bit more banking, so the car holds a little bit easier. So it's a little bit harder through that area of the track to really make gains. But I think down in 1 and 2, Alfred's a little bit better. You see there, he actually lost about half a tenth though that lap. But I think he's close enough though to where he's kind of just good now. He's gonna take it calm within 4/10 or so of the leader. You don't have to get you don't have to get there now, right? We're still only on lap 13 of 50. There's still pit stops coming up. There's still pit strategy to be played and dealt with, and you still also have 17 more laps until they have to pit. So you still have to take care of these tires. Can't really go too aggressive yet.
Yeah, and Joe brings up a good point because with these tires getting old, and you saw the last lap just at the bottom of your screen, some of these drivers starting to experiment with different lines, running a lane up, a lane lower, and that's going to allow these drivers to have that vulnerability. And if they make that move, they got to make sure that they don't get ambushed by the driver behind them, like Juan Garcia did on the number 1 of Eli Bright.
And unfortunately, I talked about Carson Miller early on. Started 3rd and running just inside the top 10 in points. He's dropping back a little. And Dwani's making some moves in number 19. Same with Keegan Thompson. Jordan South, who dropped back. He's up front. And how about the 43? Fairly similar paint scheme to the 44 this week. Keegan Thompson might make a 3 right back here. A bullet move from a returning driver. And it's going to look to get past the 26, but Dwayne's going to make it work to keep that spot over Keegan Thompson. I'm very surprised that these guys have kept it clean and green for now. As Garcia all over the back bumper of Nick Lopez. Alexander Rowe all over the back bumper of Amari Jr. And closer and closer, Avery Alford is closing in to the point leader.
As we focus on these front runners, I want to give a call out. I think someone who's up inside the top 15 now. Aaron Abel started last in this race. That 39 has flown up. He's still passing guys. That car's fast here. And he all the way at the back, he's knocking on the door of the top 10. So I think that's someone to watch out for. Aaron Abel here, as we get into this run. We're not even halfway into the race, and he's passed the majority of the cars. Obviously, they'll get harder here. He's getting up to some of the faster cars, but that's an impressive start for Abel to come all the way from the back of the field to get up inside the top, what is this now, 13 or so?
Yeah, and that 39, like you said, I don't know what they did, but they put that super tune. If I thought I put a super tune on my car, that 39, they put the ultra tune on that. And but he could be using up his stuff now, and you might burn him off towards the end of this run. So we got to keep an eye on that 39 to make sure that he didn't just do that. and burn off his stuff and get repassed by all the hard work that he did.
Yeah, a very good couple of points like both of you mentioned. I'm stunned of what Enable has done. Of course, a veteran driver on the channel and in all as a whole. We looked beforehand, he had an engine issue in qualifying, that's why he had such a slow lap time, but it looks like they fixed that issue. And that car is a rocket ship inside the top 13. I think it's easy to say that he might get top 10 here today. And now these guys are getting closer and closer, 11 laps away from pit stops. And I thought Avravel was just going to wait to pass that 44 with the undercut possibly, but he might not have to. It's under a tenth and a half probably, and we'll see what Alpha can do. That's not going to look out for no one, a lane higher on entry. We'll see if that gets a 1 on exit. If these two get side by side, do not count Low and Amati Jr.
So we're within about 10 laps now of pit stop starting. And Travis, you know, this looks like a normal pit road to get onto, but I mean, such low grip at the end of a long green flag run here at Phoenix. And it's coming off a corner, and if you don't hit it right, you can slide up into traffic. There are some people that try to pit from a higher lane than they should be. They cut down to traffic, so that's something to watch out for when we get to these green flag pit stops. Is you might, you know, undercut. It will work because of the tire wear, but if a caution comes out, it could trap you a lap down. And I mean, it's a very easy pit road to get some cautions. You could miss it. You could hit the barrels. You could hit another car. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Does the undercut actually work? Does it stay green, or will we get a caution in the middle of pit cycles to really kind of cancel stuff out?
You bring up a great point. This pit road is one of the tougher pit roads to get on, and I know from personal experience on iRacing, it is. You think you can take so much speed, but with how flat this track is and just how grainy the surface is with tires, there's no grip, especially on the apron, even though you see on fresh tires people run down there, but that when they do that, that burns off a lot of their tires. It might be faster, but you will burn off your tires. So it's really hard to get into. So many mistakes can happen. I mean, we've seen, like you said, people turn down from lanes up and get turned off someone's nose. Barrels are always an option, and two teammates just moved each other, and that is not the team strategy that Jordan Anderson Racing was hoping for. They were hoping to do a two-for-one special on Logan Williams, but now they're just fighting each other and burning off their stuff.
Bryce Egan had heart attack.
Yeah, this is a short track, but that was a little bit close for teammates, and we saw it in the Pally Clash a couple of weeks ago. What happens when, unfortunately, teammates get involved in the same crash? Not too happy, and oh,
my driver.
That is really early. Does he have a problem? Oh no, he does.
That's unfortunate.
A oil leak for the 42, but I will say it's about 30 laps on fuel, so if they can fix it early, might not be too bad. But the early season struggles continue for the team trials. I hate to say it, but that is very unfortunate. I was saying the road closing in on the 44 now. Instead of a fatal four-way, we have a triple threat for the top 3 spots, as Juan Garcia in the play of 4th and 5th. Might have something, but they have a 3+ second disadvantage on the top 3.
You know, if I was the 42 team, I'd just put 4 tires on it, let the oil leak out until it's all gone. Like, just see what happens, right? I mean, at this point, you know, you undercut it now, so just go for it. But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they have a quick pit stop, what happens. But these 3 have really gotten away, and then teammates are still. Eli and Garcia cannot get away from each other. They have been near each other pretty much this whole race, and here they are door to door again. This for 4th place, and they have some strong cars. The unfortunate part is those front 3 have just a little bit better cars.
Yeah, and Amati should have just stayed on the racetrack and just caused a debris caution for on the racetrack, and then he would have been fine. But yeah, those top 3, they are absolutely gone. And it was a gearbox issue for the 81 of Diacomo, so that was just unfortunate. And probably that 1-2 or maybe the 2-3 shift at the very start of the race.
Money
shift.
shift.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Sometimes you shift too much, and unfortunately the gearbox fails. And here we go. Logan Williams from the race league gonna do the undercut on lap 29, and this is the thing we have to watch out for all weekend long. This pit road is very treacherous, and we'll see on who can get a good stop and who can take over that race lead. Jordan Stout and Logan Williams are the only two pitting on lap 29. And it should be a 4-tire stop. We have to wait and see, as the 42 is going to stay out. The 31, the 27, the two teammates are going to go down pit road. A little bit of a late move from the 9. Eli Bright's going to stay out. And a busy pit road on lap number 30. And we'll see on who can get the edge over everyone here. And I believe Logan Williams is all the way out. And I believe it is going to be a 4-tire stop. Yes, it will be. So 4 tires will probably be the way to go. But one thing we have to watch out for is a glitchy pit road. And a
contact
that. Yeah, that curved pit road doesn't really work all that well here, but fortunately it looks like everyone's done a decent job of at least getting into their pit stalls and not missing it. Otherwise you could fall multiple laps down for that. But service is pretty good. The 9 had some contact there, so I think they might be waiting to fix some of that damage, but that's going to be unfortunate for Garcia, who's running really well, and he's going to lose a whole bunch of stuff.
Overcut.
Wow.
That's a shot. The overcut is going to work out. And we have a new race leader in Alexander Rowe in the number 31. And unfortunately, I think right when you said that, the number 2 does have that troublesome pit stall. And he's going to suffer a tough way for Charlie Downpour in the number 2 machine. But I do believe it will be Alexander Rowe, who was catching Logan Williams before pit stops, will be the new race leader. Logan Williams will be in 2nd, and then the other joint Mansell Racing car will be in 3rd, Eli Bright in 4th. And how about this mess behind him of Dewani, Carson Miller, Jordan Stout. And I think this 42, we are going to have to take a look at how everything cycles out, but he might maybe be on the lead lap.
Yep, he is. Cycle back out, but you know, I don't think he'll have enough fuel to make it all the way, and he's gonna have to hope for a caution. Either that or save a ton.
I was gonna say, or slow it way down.
in theory, he did pit right at halfway. It should be about 30 laps on fuel, so if he can save his stuff and save his tires, he should be good. A great one from these 3, of course. Eli in 4th. Dewani is in 5th now that everything has cycled. Carson Miller, Amari Jr., Jordan Stout, Bo Crown Jr., and then side by side for the final spot inside the top 10. William is out inside the top 10 out of nowhere, side by side with the 26 of Chris Moultons. But did Benny Watson fall back to the number 48? Dropped a little bit, was inside the top 10, now in 16th. That's not the best thing to have happened for him, especially with Logan Williams being inside the top 2. Most likely, Logan Williams is going to expand on his point lead over Chris Jericho, Benny Watson, and some others here today.
Yeah, hard to gain points when the guy you're trying to chase is up there running as well as Logan Williams is, you know, leading all those laps, and here he is now running in 2nd, but that 31 has better tires, and he's extending that gap out a little bit, so at this moment, this is really the race to watch, is where we have these, 7-8 cars lined up, all going for a top 5 spot. This could get interesting when we get down to the end, final 15 laps, and you know, they all want that top 5. That's a big, you know, mark to put, you know, a little tick in the box of top 5. You can see right there, that was an aggressive shove out of Crown Jr. to get to the inside and grab that 7th spot away.
You know, obviously, Amadi with way less fresher tires, Charlie Davenport come off pit road after missing his stall and stalling it on pit road. And Amadi's here is going to get freight trained. And it's going to be interesting, though. I'm going to keep my eye on that 31 because of just how much he overcut Logan Williams. They must have put less fuel in the car, and thus it was a shorter pit stop. And hopefully they put enough fuel in that car and makes it all the way to the end.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to be worrisome about. Did you put in enough fuel, or did that team just do a fast enough pit stop to have a massive lead? Great one from Dewani and Carson Miller, and we mentioned it earlier, and Abel was just outside the top 10. He fell back a little bit after pit stops, but he's still in a top 15 one and starting dead last and making the way inside the top 15 before pit stops and maintaining it after is a great way to go about things here at Phoenix at a track that is tough to pass, and he's gonna move a rookie to the channel of Gavin Paley in the turns 1 and 2. And looks like we will go caution free for the second race in a row. But we still have 10 laps to go. 11 laps to go actually here in this one. And it is a still about the same 1.89 second lead for Alexander Lowe in the number 31.
And Rowe's just out there, he's pacing the field right now. He's pulling away a little bit every lap, but we'll just have to see if, once again, like Travis mentioned, does he have the fuel to make it? And luckily for him, lap traffic is a good bit away, and obviously no one out there is damaged. So I wouldn't expect him to catch up to anyone, to any foul play to be involved there. But this battle back here is still going on. They're still going crazy. 5th place, 6th place, they've kind of gotten away, but this battle for 7th is crazy. You got 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. They're all on top of each other right here. This is good stuff here.
Yeah, and obviously, as we get late into the race, aggression picks up. You see these drivers making some more desperate moves and starting to move these drivers out of the way. And there's always the chance, the possibility of someone doing a bad block and someone moving someone up the hill, and it could have a bumper hook, or it all takes is one person to make an error and cause a late race restart.
And if we get a late race restart, oh boy, we've seen the starts of the race be interesting here before, and if we get a late race restart, these guys would go all over the place, and that is the last thing that Alexander Moore wants to see in that number 31 is a late race caution. Carson Miller goes wide, and the number 51 have to watch out. Off turn number 2, they fan it back down. That could have been bad, but you mentioned that at the top of the show, that outside lane off turn 2 can get a good one at times, Travis, and that's what the 26 got. The 45 gets tight off of turn number 4. That's going to allow Jordan Stout to get to the inside, and this battle for the back part of the top 10 and just outside of it is fantastic stuff here at Phoenix.
The tires are wearing out now. They're trying to hang on. They still got 7 laps to go, but they can't give up. They're still battling for all these positions. They want to get them all, and these are points on the line. But I mean, these tires, they're wearing away, especially with how hard they're driving. They might as well be as bad as they were at the end of the long run that we did to start. So these guys are going crazy, and they're looking 3 wide back here. I mean, this is outstanding stuff. That's for a top 10 spot. No wonder why they're going 3 wide.
And 42 does not pit this time by, so hopefully he has been saving, but I highly doubt it the way these guys are battling. And Aaron Abel now as well, he's gotten by, he has the 2 who's 4 laps down, multiple behind him, and he's gotten by Benny Watson up to 13th. I don't know if he has enough time to get a top 10. He's got to really pick it up here to catch the guys in front of him and then quickly get around the 00 and the 45 to even get to the number 11.
Still a great comeback from Aaron Abel in the number 39. Of course, that 2 machine downpour is several laps down, unfortunately, but he's up to speed. Chris Mullins to the inside of Carson Miller, and it's looking like most likely we will go 2 in a row of having caution-free races, but once again, another race where we've seen a ton of battling, not for the lead this time, but inside the top 10 as Ayers moves Roberto Cron Jr. out of the way, and it's looking more and more likely for that number 31 of Alexander Moore to get the race win here today. But still got 2 laps to go, and we saw at the start the Alamo blew up early, and we'll see if anyone has a mechanical failure late. But 2 laps to go, and now Lowe has a 3-second lead over Logan Williams.
I was gonna say, while we were watching that, Rowe just kept gaining. It was by tenths a lap. He is just gaining and gaining and gaining and not giving it back. I mean, Williams can't do anything. He's just watching him drive off into the sunset. That was another 1/10.5 right there, pretty much, that Rowe just gained there. So he's in a comfortable position here. Just has to get around a lap and a half more, and it's his checkered flag to claim.
Yeah, and he's in that zone right now where everything is clicking. You're just in that rhythm, and you're just doing lap after lap. And, these tires are old, so he's not doing qualifying laps necessarily, but he's definitely putting up heaters. And once again, let's see if it goes up. That time, just only a couple hundredths right there, so or a couple thousands, I should say. So it's looking good for the number 31 of Alexander Rowe.
Alexander Rowe had a good one at Daytona, had a bad week at Atlanta, but he had a long one called on the first one, and he had a super long one at the second part. Alexander Rowe and joining us racing and Bryce Eakin will win a caution-free Bashas 200 at Phoenix Raceway. A dominating performance in the second half, and once he took the race lead, that 31 car just had the fastest long one car all day long. And I'm impressed with these guys. You know, we've seen some chaos here in the past at Phoenix, especially with this version. And these guys, even though a lot of these are rookies to the channel, they have done a great job. And Alexander Rowe with the win. And
they're wrecking.
Oh,
no.
They all
They couldn't keep it clean. They couldn't keep it clean.
I think my driver just turned the guy who's 4 laps down.
You guys will see what happened in the corner of the screen. Don't know what happened at the end there. You mentioned a tight pit road, and unfortunately the W has a hub buckle, so that's unfortunate right there. But you know what is not unfortunate? It is Alexander Rowe getting the race win here today in a fairly track-dependent race here, and it's going to be interesting on how the points shake out. But Alexander Rowe with the race win. Logan Williams in second, Avery Alford in third, Eli Bright in fourth, Chris Martins, Durrani, Carlos Miller, Ayers were both managing and joined us out the top 10. And Fernando Abel just outside the top 10 in 11th, so 36 here today. And he gets a top 11 finish. Great one for him. Nick Lopez in 12th, and even though Lodro of the 12s had a oil leak, he was able to stretch it on old tires and got a top 13 finish. Watson gets a 14th place finish, and Perry in 15th. And then at the back part of the field, unfortunately, some of these drivers started in the back and they just couldn't move up to the front. Garcia had a good day going until some contact on pit road. And then Davenport got stuck on pit road, and then Giacomo blew a gearbox on lap number 1. Well, what are your final thoughts of a caution-free race here at Phoenix, and what do you think you guys will experience here tomorrow for the SeatGeek 500K?
Well, I hope it's the same in terms of caution free. That would be nice, not having to be around any incidents. But yeah, I think we saw a really good race today. You know, the leaders, we had some differing strategies there, and it ultimately was a strategy call that got Alexander Rowe in victory lane. That was fun to see the pit crew come into play there, and obviously that battle for just inside the top 10, just outside the top 10. Seeing Abel come through the field maybe gives some confidence for tomorrow for some guys that aren't starting all that well. And I do want to point out that our picks ended up right next to each other, 13th and 14th, basically nose to tail at the checkered flag.
But let the record speak that I did beat you.
That's true.
And like what Joe said, you know, that battle basically from 4th on back was basically the most entertaining race, or part of this race, other than the pit strategy and the cycles and stuff. Very unfortunate for Bruno Giacomo. Very luckily, the oil leak for my car wasn't that bad. And you know, kudos to him for saving those 5 laps of tires and fuel. And you know, the Cup race, it will probably be similar. However, those Cup cars are way wider than these Xfinity cars, so turn 2 is going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, and we'll see, Joe, if you can go back to back here at Phoenix for the Cup Series side. Now had a great start to the season, but is Phoenix the season changed early on last season? Maybe the same can happen as well. Thanks for Travis and Joe for joining me up here in the booth here, and good luck tomorrow in the Cup Series race. Congratulations to Alexander Rowe on a race win here today, and move himself back up to the front of the standings. And Logan Williams, once again, gonna make it 3 top 10s in a row to kick off the season, and he might be a early championship favorite. Tune in tomorrow for the SeatGeek 500K for race number 4 of the season for the JBL Cup Series, and that is a fun one to say the least. Already recorded that and don't want to miss it. Thanks for these two for joining me once again, and we will see you guys next week at Las Vegas for race 4 of the National Series season.